7 assists. How about Draymond Green setting the tone offensively and defensively? 16, 6, and 5. Steph Curry dropped a double-double, his 23rd career playoff double-double. But this Game 7 will forever be known as the Buddy Hield game as he scores a playoff career high 33 points, nails 9 threes, and the Warriors eliminate the Houston Rockets for the third time in the last 5 years, of course, down in H-Town, and they will advance to the second round to take on the Minnesota Timberwolves. And we'll talk all about it here on Toyota Warriors Postgame Live with the Hall of Famer Chris Woolen, NBA champion Festus Ezeli, another champion Juan Toscano Anderson. I am Bonta Hill. And are you not entertained, Fezzy Phil? The Warriors brought the intensity from the jump, and they got some big-time help from Buddy Hield.
Bonta, we're still working. We're still working moving forward. I am entertained. All right, this was a great game. This was a great series. I got to give it to the Houston Rockets. This whole series, they fought, well coached, very well disciplined defensively. They fought, they got better as the season went along. Tonight in the Game 7, this is where your veterans, your experience comes into play. Buddy Hield was huge in the first half. 22 big ones gave the Warriors a lead, a double-digit lead, and I thought him and Draymond, that lead they got in the first half, they just never relinquished it.
JT, how about that defense, though? Draymond Green showed up after having a tough series in the first 6 games. We discussed his offense, how they needed it, and he came out and scored 8 quick ones in that first quarter.
Absolutely. First game in double digits of the series, but what impresses me the most is his protection of the rim. Obviously, they're a lot smaller than Houston is. They don't have a real rim protector, but he's there. His presence is there. His impact is there. So it's really impressive what he's doing at the rim.
And, of course, the chef saving his best for last. Only 3 points at the half, Bully. He finishes with 22, scoring 19 of those 22, obviously in the final 2 quarters.
22 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists. Another dynamic performance by Steph. But to me, the story of the game was taking care of the basketball. Just 7 turnovers for the Warriors. When they're under 10, they're almost unbeatable. And then the three-point shots, plus 36 from the three-point line. I thought they did a great job controlling the game. As you mentioned, Bonta, the first quarter they won, which was important. I thought Draymond's start to the game really put everyone at ease. And then you talk about the ultimate X factor. Buddy Hield in Game 6 has 0.
0 for 4.
So I'm not quite sure he climbed up the scouting report. But if they were playing the game tomorrow, he'd be at the top of the scouting report. He got 33 tonight.
No doubt about that. The Warriors now improved to 47-5 when they take a lead into the fourth quarter. But let's go back down to H-Town to Fitzibuki, who's talking to Jimmy Butler.
Jimmy Butler, 44 minutes, 20 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists. Tell us about that Game 7, the 5th one of your career.
It was a good one. It ended in a win the way we wanted, the way we expected it to. And a lot of guys stepped up in a big way. And we got one on the road finally.
Hey, talk to me about how good you guys were defensively. Spectacular. Draymond Green was amazing. You were amazing, baiting guys into things, staying home, defending without fouling for the most part. What were the talks like coming into this one when it comes to shoot around? What you guys are going to do on the defensive end?
Just be more physical, put body on body, hit, get those loose balls, get those rebounds. I think we did a great job of that tonight, and that was key. And we didn't turn the ball over.
Big.
Great job by everybody on the team except Buddy. Is Buddy included tonight?
No,
33 points.
I plead the 5th.
Amazing.
Jimmy, tell us about the journey of you after the trade, coming here, the success of the Warriors, how you fit in so seamlessly, how you've been a leader along with Draymond and Steph. Just you have so accomplished in your career, but what's this journey been like with the Dubs?
A great one. It's always, like I always say, it's always good to be wanted and appreciated for your skill set and for your talents. And here, they welcome me with open arms. They let me be the player that I am. And they help me fit into what they do so incredibly well. And they got some hellified vets, some Hall of Famers that I get to play alongside.
You had 20 points tonight. You ended up with that. It looked like a lot of the game you were kind of diagnosing it, passing it, making plays, driving to pass at the right times. But then when it was the right time for you to drive and score or score on a grenade or whatever it is or an ISO, you also did that. Talk to me about how you diagnose the game mentally for you.
I always just take what the defense gives me, whether it be a jump shot, a three some of the times, getting to the paint. But I pride myself on finding my guys, make sure that they get their shots, they get their confidence, and they get their reps within the game. And I will continue to do that.
How do you show restraint with all the physical play and get shoved in the back and you flagrant foul on Şengün in the last game? You never respond. You let the officials deal with it, and you maintain your composure.
I talked to Dre before every game, and he said, don't do it because we can't have two people out there doing it. So thanks to Dre, he's the one that gets to fire off on everybody and I just sit back and relax.
Hey, Jimmy, we really appreciate you stopping. Been unbelievable watching you play. And get ready for coffee and Domino's in Minnesota.
And kids.
And kids. There we go.
Yeah, forget about kids.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jimmy. We appreciate
y'all.
it.
All right,
That is Jimmy Butler III. Coffee, Domino's, kids in the second round against the T-Wolves.
Yes.
The Warriors win it. Game 7, 103-89, getting it done defensively. And Minnesota is next.
But the turning point happened late in the third quarter. 63-60. Steve Kerr had to slow it down, said, I need a timeout. As Willie would say, a full. And next thing you know, you get some big baskets by Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green, some great defense. Here it is. Steven Adams with the offensive rebound. Jabari Smith Jr., decisiveness right there. Nails a big three. Again, here's the timeout by Steve Kerr. Saying, all right, let's settle this thing down. Up 3, Mully.
As Marval would say, let's talk it over. And out of this timeout, Bonte, a big three-point shot by Jimmy Butler. And here, just a great screen by Steph Curry. Open up the lane for Draymond Green. Nice layup. And then Draymond once again, the floater in the paint.
Look at the rim, Day. I love this.
And that's
Nice
the shot
little run there.
That's the shot that's been available for him. And then up 8. Started the fourth quarter. Stephen Curry says, I got Jabari Smith on me. Clear the lane. No screen.
I got
this. And then Ahmed
this.
Thompson just falls asleep right there. That young man had a great series, but you can't fall asleep on the chef. Steph Curry nails a 3. And that was a pivotal 12-2 run to get the Warriors a double-digit lead that they would not relinquish, Fezzi
The
Fell.
start of the fourth was really important. Like I said, Steph was doing his community service in the first half, was assisting and creating shots for other guys. But in the fourth quarter, Steph was locked in. Tonight he played 45 minutes. So this is one of those games where you rely on all your starters. You rely on your vets. Jimmy Butler played 44. Steph played 45. I mean, in a game like this, Steph Curry stepped up toward the end. I just got to give Buddy Hield a lot of credit. His 33 points, it really lifted. It was 9 for 11 for the three-point line. So when Steph Curry is double-teamed, then you have somebody else hitting shots. Draymond Green was hitting shots. Buddy Hield was hitting shots. Gave Steph the space to be able to operate in the fourth.
No doubt, playoff career high for Buddy Hield, 33 points, 9 of 11 in 37 minutes. And then a crunch time tape where the Warriors had control. Up 8, Houston. They couldn't buy a bucket in that fourth quarter. Great defense here. Şengün driving. And look, they did a great job on Şengün. He scored 21 points tonight, but it came on 23 field goal attempts. The Warriors got out and ran, and this was basically it over the last 3 minutes and 40 seconds. Van Vliet doubled here. Great hands by Buddy Hield. Tipped by Jimmy Butler. And then take foul, clear path foul right there. And that was basically all she wrote.
Of your emotions right here, Jimmy Butler. This was great. I mean, defense tonight was incredible for the Warriors. 89 points they relinquished to the Houston Rockets. This is how you win.
Yep.
You got to hold them to less than 90 points in a finals game, in a game 7. This was huge.
And just 14 assists for the Houston Rockets. The ball movement was non-existent. Just 6 of 18 from the three-point line. Jimmy Butler nails those free throws. Up 12 here. Jalen Green, give me this. Jimmy Buckets. That's your Marquette boy.
Yes, sir. He came alive in the end of the game, made some big shots. But, going back to what Fezzi said, I think what helps Golden State is they're making shots. So Houston's taking the ball out every time down, playing against a set defense. And obviously, as we all know, the numbers go up defensively when you're set on defense.
Warriors win the first quarter 23-19, but it felt like they were playing faster despite the low score in that first frame. And the Warriors get the win, and they'll move on to Minnesota. And yes, Fezzi, we're not on vacation yet. Come on back, JTA. Pre-game live begins at 5:30 p.m. right here on NBC Sports Bay Area for game number 1 of that second-round series between the T-Wolves and the Warriors. We'll hear from Steve Kerr, who has never lost a first-round series as head coach of the Golden State Warriors. And Aisha's in the building. She's feeling good. But where's Kanan at? And look at the percentages just completely flipped here in Game 7. The Rockets shoot just 33% as the Warriors' excellent zone defense today really befuddled them. 24 assists, low numbers still for the Golden State Warriors. That was their average throughout this 7-game series. But the points in the paint, they didn't get totally dominated. At one point, it was 38-18. Warriors are able to close the gap there. And free throws didn't necessarily matter, but the turnovers. The Warriors took care of the basketball tonight. Just 7 turnovers, and they'll head to Minnesota to take on the T-Wolves. But May 4th, 2025, we talk about all the memories over the last decade with the Golden State Warriors. Game 6, Clay, Stephen Curry in Boston in game number 4, dropping 43 points. But game 7, you're thinking Draymond Green, Jimmy Butler, Stephen Curry. Who's going to step up alongside of them? Well, it'll forever be known as the Buddy Hield game. 33 points, a career high for him in the playoffs. Remember, folks, this is just his second career playoff series. He's got 3 starts in the series, 33 points, 12 of 15, 9 of 11. And right there, JTA, from the logo, to end the first quarter with a 4-point lead. And from then, he did not look back.
He didn't. Look, like I said, you let a shooter get one off and see it go in. the floodgates open up, and that's the last thing you want to do. He's an elite shooter. He came into the league being an elite shooter. So it's Buddy Hield, man. He's up there with Steph Curry. You know, he has a lot of, 300, 200 three-point field goal makes in the season. You know, you can't leave him open.
And look at this, Fezzi Phil. Buddy Buckets. This is the 7th game in NBA history which a player has made 7+ threes in a game 7. So he makes some history for himself.
Buddy came into this game locked in. You know, Steve Kerr made an amazing decision to start him this game. Choosing to go with the offensive punch, knowing that Steph Curry was going to be double teamed. You need a shooter out there to space the floor, and Buddy Hield got going early in the first, and he just never stopped. The whole game long, he was putting pressure on the defense of the Houston Rockets, hitting shots, playing defense, getting stops, getting steals. Buddy's locked in. There's no excluding Buddy anymore. All right, Buddy's locked in right now, and I'm excited to see this continue to the depth for the Warriors continue to grow as the playoffs go along.
And then you look at Stephen Curry, Mully. We were talking at the break, just 3 points at one point in the third quarter. He was 1 of 8 from the floor, and we all said, all right, it's time for Steph Curry to get cooking. Fezzi had the great line at halftime saying, enough of the community service. Go out there and score. But you know what? The great ones find a way to get theirs, Mully. He ends up going 8 of 16, 50% from the floor, 22 points, 10 rebounds, and 3 assists shy of a triple-double.
Rabonte, how would you feel if you're Ime Udoka, Steph Curry's got 3 points at half and you're down,
12.
That's not a good feeling. As Fezzi says, just a matter of time before he gets going. But again, Steph's patience, his floor game, his 10 rebounds, just a leadership game. And when he's needed to score, he's got all the moves in the book. And I'll say, this is a night-night. Say goodnight to the Rockets.
Steph was locked in. Like, 10 rebounds, 2 steals, 2 blocks, filled up the stat sheet tonight. Obviously, the offense is the part that you want to watch, but I see everything, Bonte. He had some switches tonight on Şengün, on Dylan Brooks. He got some big stops in this game as well. So Steph Curry was really a guy in this game that was locked in, was getting his team involved. He also got 7 assists. It's really incredible to see the way he gets his teammates involved, because in a game like this, you got to rely on your teammates. You got to rely on the role players. Buddy Hield was huge, but usually all these things happen off of the gravity of Steph Curry.
Scores 19 in the second half, so yeah, we could say Steph owns that city. But right now, it's known as the Buddy Hield game.
Baby!
Buddy Buckets, 9 made threes, including that big one before the end of the first quarter. Welcome to Toyota Warriors Postgame Live. JTA, Fezzi, Mully, and Bonte here. Buddy, man, it had to feel good to go out there and nail those threes, especially after not scoring in game number 6. It looked like you didn't have any nerves in game 7 tonight in your first ever game 7.
It's all glory to God, man. Thank you, man. Just staying focused, locked in, and just trusting my teammates to give me the ball in a good spots. And just when the opportunity comes, just seize the moment and just be me.
Buddy, congratulations on a phenomenal game. 9 of 11 from 3. We talked post-game after Game 6. Ball wasn't moving as you guys would like. Tell me your mindset, buddy. And look, you're a career 40% shooter. If you feel you've got open shots, what's your confidence level?
It got to go up. It got to go up. Even if make or miss, it got to go up. We worked too hard. You know, we put in so much time. And I just thank God to be able to make some shots and move on to the next round.
I'm about to go buy one of those excluding Buddy shirts after this right now. Shout out to Danny Joe Pro.
She might need to make an including Buddy now.
Yeah, there was no excluding Buddy tonight. What about the defensive end? You guys hold the Houston Rockets to 89 points tonight. What was the focus tonight?
I mean, this is winning 50-50 balls, no turnovers, winning the battles, individual battles, trust our defense, rebounding, and just no turnovers. You know, turnovers. You know, when you turn the ball, we lose, but when we don't, we have a great chance of winning, and that's what we did today.
Buddy, it's JTA here. I got two questions for you. What was the mentality going in today's game after going 0 for 4? And then, you know, in an elimination game, you know, being on the heater, knocking down all those threes, what's your mentality moving forward into the second round?
What's up, my guy? Just this next game mentality. You know, you can't dwell on that. What happened last game? Yes, we lost. We flipped the script, flipped the page. Next game, you know, and that's what's the mentality I got to have. And that's the mentality you got to keep every time. You can't let the outside noise stay off my phone. Didn't really talk to my family as much. My family wanted to come to the game. I told them no. I wanted to lock in and prepare for this.
Family, no social media. And then what about that emotional meeting before Game 7? Who led that meeting, buddy?
Draymond. Just him. Just let us know that I know we did this. How important this game was. And it was just us, the things that hurt us on the court with us bickering, and we didn't feel like we were connected as we were. And, that's what he is, man. He's a connector. Him and Jimmy and Steph, they led that meeting, and they helped us a lot.
Well, Buddy, congratulations. A playoff career high, 33 points. You became the 7th player in NBA history to make 7 threes, at least 7 threes in the game number 7. We'll see you Tuesday night in the second round against the Minnesota Timberwolves, man. Get some rest. Have fun, and we'll see you Tuesday night.
Yes, sir. All right. Thank you.
No problem. Buddy Hield, man, he brought up Draymond Green leading that meeting before Game 7. With Draymond Green, he backed up his talk because he came out in that first quarter, went 3 for 3 right away. We talked about his offense there in the pregame show. He needed to step up here. His first game in the series, scoring in double figures, Juan, 16.7 to 15 from the floor. Made those 2 threes. I thought he was going to get the 3. We'll talk about that. But 6 rebounds, 5 assists, and excellent defense on Alperon Şengün.
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen the cross match kind of slow Draymond down a little bit from his playmaking ability, but this is what I like to see from him. You know, him being more aggressive, showing another facet of his game. He's been here before, and tonight he showed that.
I said Draymond needed to have a big game tonight, but, Bonte, winners win. All right, he was going to do all the little things to get the team to win tonight, and he did that. He put some points on the board, had 10 points in the first half. Not only that, he was getting downhill, getting to the middle of the paint and creating plays. A couple of those were to Buddy Hield to get those shots going. So Draymond does a lot on the offensive end, but defensively, he's able to be in the middle of the paint. He was one of the reasons why Steven Adams was pretty ineffective tonight. 3 points, 7 rebounds. We said we had the question of if Steven Adams was going to get 9 rebounds. That's when he's effective, getting offensive rebounds. Only had 7. I told you, Draymond was going to come into the game. I didn't know that Steph was going to have 10 rebounds, but I love the fact that Draymond was so effective, was so active on the defensive end and the offensive end.
We have Brandin Podziemski standing by, the second-year pro out of Santa Clara, playing in his first ever playoff series. And you're going to the second round as we welcome you here. Mully, Festus, JTA, of course, Bonte Hill here. You look a little exhausted after that Game 7, Pods.
Yeah, I'm tired. Definitely left it all out there. Tried to do as much as I could to help the team win. And I'm just thankful we got it done.
And you caught a body today. Talk to me about this. You, a fellow big man. You see a big man coming down. Talk me through this play, man.
I mean, yeah, everybody just been kind of giving me crap for not trying to dunk the ball. Obviously, to start the half, Amen got it at the rim. So just next time down, I felt my legs were good and just tried to dunk one.
Today, you guys came out with a different intensity. Obviously, we've seen, for the past couple games, we've seen Houston kind of setting the tone and the pace for the games. But today, you guys came and did that. Felt like you guys were in the driver's seat for the majority of the game. What was the message in the locker room prior to the game?
I mean, it was take the 3-ball away, which we did. I think they only had 3 threes besides those last couple in the last minute. If we take the 3-ball at the game and just make them take consistent, tough twos that are in transition, it's going to be hard to win a game like that. And so me and Buddy just try to lock in on Fred and Jalen, the guys who shoot the majority of those threes. And we did that. And so helped us win, helped them keep them under 90 points, I think.
Yeah, Pods, all season long, a big talking point was turnovers. You guys only had 7 tonight. You bring up the 3-point shot. You guys are plus 36. Talk about Buddy Hield's performance. 9 of 11 from 3, 33 points. The first 7th player in NBA history to have 7 threes in a Game 7. Talk about Buddy's performance.
Yeah, it was great. We all know what Buddy's capable of, but I said it before Game 1. In order to win series, you got to have great role players that step up. And in all 4 wins this series, a role player stepped up for us. Game 1, it was Moses hitting big shots on the stretch. Game 3, Buddy played really well. Game 4, I played well. And now Game 7, Buddy played well. So besides Steph and Jimmy, there's always going to have to be role players that step up. And you look at the 4 wins, there obviously was someone to do that.
We'll get some rest, but it's a quick turnaround. Second round is coming right now, but this is what you asked for all year long. You want to be in the big show.
Yeah, well, I think we're ready for it. Quick turnaround. I think it has some advantages. Obviously, the Timberwolves have more rest, but I think us coming off a game, us knowing what a 7-game series looks like, and also playing probably the most physical team in the NBA combined with their length and athleticism. I don't think any other team really has that. And so I told Steph earlier, I think this is going to help us. This series is going to help us down the road with whoever we play. And so I think we have a little bit of advantage there.
Well, that'll be the Minnesota Timberwolves beginning on Tuesday night up in Minnesota. Pods.
Congratulations, Pods.
Man. Got through your first Game 7. Now get some rest, man. You may have to play 40 minutes Tuesday as well.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate y'all.
Anytime. Brandin Podziemski here as we take a look at our Toyota drive ahead, and then we'll beat the T-Wolves as the Warriors beat the T-Wolves 3 or 4 times in the regular season. Game 1 Tuesday night. And check out the first 5 games of the series. It will be every other day. Now, you would think it's advantage Minnesota. They've had the rest, but I wouldn't doubt these old OGs, I should say, with Draymond, Steph, and Jimmy Butler. Experience, I should say. All right, time now to check out the wild Western Conference playoff bracket. Yeehaw! There you go, Fezzy Fell. Thunder and the Nuggets tomorrow. That's going to be a phenomenal series. And, of course, now you get the 6 and 7 seed in the Western Conference, the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Golden State Warriors. The Dubs did beat the T-Wolves 3 or 4 in the regular season, but the T-Wolves are one of the hottest teams in the league right now. Julius Randle is playing some of his best basketball in his career. Go Bears, coming off a 27-24 game. And we know about Anthony Edwards. He's a superstar bully, so this is going to be a fascinating series as both these teams have a lot of history between each other.
Oh, yes, they've got a lot of history. We'll get into that, I'm sure, at some point during the series. But I agree with Pods. I think this series is a good preparation for the Wolves. You think about it, Amen Thompson's a great defender. You got Jalen McDaniels, who's played Steph very similar. This lineup that the Minnesota Timberwolves can throw out there, they can go ultra big like Houston, or they can play a small lineup that still has athleticism, length, shooting. The one thing they have that the Rockets do not have is an ultra superstar in Anthony Edwards.
Absolutely.
9. A lot of bricks up there. Felt like fatigue set in the fourth quarter, but the Warriors do get the win. The highlight zone coming up on the other side. I have a feeling Buddy Hield will be a part of that package. On this day in 2015, Stephen Curry wraps up his first ever Most Valuable Player award. Of course, he went back-to-back when it came to the MVP award. The next season, he went unanimous. First ever player to go win a unanimous MVP award. Of course, that season, 24 points a game, 44% from the three-point line. Literally a 50-40-90 season for him. And the Warriors will go on to win their first championship since 1975. So a lot of history there. Stephen Curry making history today with his 23rd double-double, 3 assists shy of a triple-double. So a lot of memories there. Fezzy, you were part of that. But now it's time to get to the highlight zone presented by Mancini, Sleep Road. And I have a feeling Buddy Hield will be a part of this package. Phenomenal game for him. But Loon Dog played a lot tonight.
By the way,
look at that pass.
Good pass. Kevon Looney played a huge role tonight. I thought he did a great job setting great screens, making good plays.
Steph faked everybody out. Loon thought he was getting it. The 3 Rockets. Buddy's like, get it here. I'm on fire.
He was on fire with 33 big ones there. Loon Dog.
Big Loon.
Big rebound there. Buddy Hield right before the end of the first quarter buzzer.
How do you say, Mully, you got to look beyond the box score sometimes?
No, you got to look in the box score. It's 9 of 11 from 3. No rim.
If we get more of this from Buddy, what do we call him? A splash cousin?
If we get more of this,
I feel like
we'll be working a long time.
NBA Finals.
I mean, he just put on an incredible performance tonight.
I know, man.
I guarantee you that.
Too soon, man.
Cancel the vacation plans.
He is not a splash brother, but he can be an extended cousin.
I know, man. Body's not cold yet, man.
Okay.
All right. The splash
Don't do that.
I miss Clay, man.
You know better than I do. Let's go to the facts. He's a 40% career three-point shooter.
No doubt about that.
That's what he is. That's what Buddy Buckets is.
He's still cold, man.
The other stuff, I don't know about all that.
It's not even cold yet, man.
Let's see the final series.
Fezzy's excited going to the second round, Bonte.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I am too, man. I was going to miss you guys, man. I was going straight to baseball, man.
I just started getting comfortable, man.
Exactly, man. I mean, we became IG friends, man. I was like, man, what's going on around here? But this was a close series. T-Wolves and Warriors did battle 4 times this season. They haven't met since January 15th. But you see the stats here. Similar to this Rocket series, very even across the board. Even the turnovers. You look down there, fast break points, bench points. This is going to be a fascinating series. But at that point, Minnesota, they were struggling a bit. They were just 21-19. The Warriors were 20-20. Both these teams look completely different. Jimmy Butler, you add him to the mix. Minnesota's now playing with a lot more confidence after beating the Lakers in 5 games in their first round series. Julius Randle looks phenomenal. Rudy Gobert's doing his thing. Jaden McDaniels, but that last meeting, 116-115, Dubs got by here. Steph Curry, 10 of 12 from the floor, 7 made threes, 31 points. You want to talk about efficiency, plus the 8 dimes. This was an incredible basketball game, Mully.
Yeah, Bonte, I agree. Both these teams are totally different from when they met during the regular season. Obviously, the Warriors with the addition of Jimmy Butler. But you mentioned, I think, the way they have integrated Julius Randle offensively, they figured it out, which has made the Timberwolves a much deeper team. And Chris Finch, their head coach, can really throw out, different lineups, similar to Houston, but much more efficient offensively. They don't really have a lineup that's really struggles offensively. Just depends on what type of lineup he wants to throw out there. And I think the fact that their guards get deep into the paint, that's made Rudy Gobert a better offensive player. They don't throw the ball down to him to make moves. Plays in the dunker spot. They create for him, and he's a monster on the offensive board. So this is going to be a really tough series. I think it's going to be an incredible series, much like the one we just watched with the Houston Rockets.
Bench mob!
And we're just taking out Kevin Durant, Nikola Jokic, LeBron James. He's trying to come for the chef, Stephen Curry. Coverage begins 5:30 p.m. Tuesday night right here at NBC Sports Bay Area. Warriors advance to the second round, but don't go anywhere. Dub Talk Live is next.
Always said the bench is well rested.